Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning to everyone. I don't know what happened to my preset, but it looks like someone changed my settings. Let me just get a few things. Jeremy, I see that you're in the room. I'm going to just kind of remove you initially from the room, and if we open up the conversation with other people later, happy to have you come in. I just don't want any audio feedback, if you don't mind. Thank you. Um, see, let me just do a couple of more things here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm exhausted. I just got in from, man, I've got all these little setting issues. Just got in last night from Miami. The volume isn't good. Maybe Joey Bitcoins or Ask Matt Crane, Jeremy. Somebody can tell me if the sound, oh, loud and clear. Good. Awesome. 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 Um, Wow, this is quite a commitment, I must say. I was at a um, an event in Mar-a-Lago Wednesday night. Met David Sachs. That was quite interesting. Had not met him before, and a lot of really cool people. It was an IT program that the administration is trying to put a whole team of people together. That was quite interesting. And then went to Miami for Art Basel, where a company I own sponsored an event with a very large family office. Really cool event. Uh, and the whole weekend, I've been thinking about hey, what am I going to talk about here? In fact, somebody asked me. They said, "Hey, this stuff you're doing with on Sundays, um, do you spend a lot of time preparing yourself for it?" And it's funny because um, I take more time preparing for this than anything else I do. I actually worry about it more. I'm more concerned about it, which tells me I'm really trying to put really good intention into this. But it is, I have a newfound respect for, once again, this continues to happen to me. When I go do something that I've never done before, I start to have empathy in a way that I did not have for other people. Not sympathy, but empathy, an understanding of what goes into people creating things. It's a lot of work and a lot of self criticism, a lot of insecurity, and like inner little conflict. Hey, why are you doing this? The reason I'm doing it, it seems like one, it's well, selfishly, it seems like it's helping me. But also, I'm getting some really, really good feedback from other people. Um, in fact, a lady asked me last night, she saw a few young men come up to me during an event, and they were, "Hey, Gary, really appreciate what you're doing." Uh, I think mostly on the digital stuff. And she made the comment, she said, "Hey, what's the deal with these people? They seem to be almost enamored with you or really interested." These are 35, 40-year-old, 28-year-old, 30-year-old guys, mostly men, some women, in fairness. And I think it's that people are um, missing something. I really think they're missing something, even if they're on their journey or they're doing what they think they should be doing. It just seems to me a lot of people are lost and they're looking for, and they don't even know how to. We just don't have a system set up today that provides a place for people. I don't think it provides a place for 30-year-olds to go, hey, look, I'm a little lost. What the heck am I supposed to be doing? Hard to go to your parents It's a weird thing, when you start growing up and then you realize you don't have a lot of people you can talk to about things that you're going to have questions about, whether you're struggling or whether you're having great success. Both of these are really very different sides of just different sides of the same bloody coin. Um, so the topic today is going to be about freedom. Um, and I was thinking I was thinking about actually making this about wealth and what is wealthy? What does wealth mean? And what does prosperity mean? And what does rich mean? And I really think that it's a very good discussion to have, wrapping all of these concepts together. Freedom. What is freedom? For me, I would actually probably, I'm going to keep how I define freedom to maybe a little bit later. And if I don't, and I forget because I go off track, uh, somebody please remind me, because I think it's really, really interesting that we talk about freedom. We talk about our rights, freedom of speech, freedom of blah, 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 freedom to carry a gun. But do we really know what freedom is? I know people that they do everything they can to stay in control so that um, they're never controlled by anyone, and therefore they have some kind of imagination of freedom. Um, Yet I look at their lives and I'm like you are in your own trap. I mean, you literally, this human being cannot stop um, being in control, and I don't think that's freedom. Um, At least it's not for me. So what I'm going to ask everyone to do, as you know, I'm a big believer in writing things down, drawing things. I'm going to write the word freedom on my Sunday notepad, and I'm going to ask myself, and I'm going to ask all 900 of you people: Red, Mike Mack, Carlos, Christopher Cialon, Sin, Red, Red Orange, Blue Dog Pill, Matt Crane. All of you guys take 1 minute. And if you're driving, Jeremy can't do this. He's driving. Don't want him to have a wreck. I'm free. I'm smashing my head right through the windscreen. Write down, what is freedom for you? Okay. And I'd love to see it in the comments. Okay. What is freedom for you? And really think about, hey, what is freedom? Really freedom? Really? Because I find that I don't think I'm very free in 1,000 different ways. For instance, I go to all these events, which I'm very close to just almost saying, I don't want to go to any more of them. I don't like them. I don't like being around that many people. I don't like having to bustle through a dinner that's 4 hours long. I've got to watch, it's just, 800 people show up and we're all shaking hands and talking to each other. I would much rather prefer a 3 hour dinner or a 40-minute dinner with one human being and just get to know that one person. I just don't really dig the whole 800 people thing. I mean, I met some cool people. Do not get me wrong. But at this stage in my life, I'm tired of getting on airplanes, even as convenient it is for me, getting in cabs, going to events that um, maybe the struggle is I have too many options. Okay. And maybe that's it. Maybe the struggle uh, is that it's never enough for me. The freedom thing has never been like, are you really free? Like, can you really say whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want? Um, I'm not talking about just being an ass, right? I'm not talking about being a mean person, but can you really say what you really want? I was finding myself 2 or 3 years ago rebelliously saying what I really meant and wanted, because the more you tried to shut me up, the more I wanted to scream out of a cage. So that's not gonna work, at least not on a guy like me. Now, having said that, and I think it's worth pointing out, not everyone is like me. Uh, I am. I have been willing to put up with people not liking me for a long time. It might be a chip on my shoulder. I don't know, but I've just never been that guy that could just stay shut up. Um, and so in that, like all the small talk in an 800-person room. For instance, we went to a dinner. Someone apologized on Saturday. They said, "Hey, really sorry that I brought you to this really small dinner." There was 5 people there, um, and I hardly spoke any, but I learned a lot about other people. And for me, that was much more valuable than sitting around watching 14 very scantily cladded women do a modeling show, which was cool. Hadn't been to one of those in a long time. Um, Sitting next to this really young kid that's investing in SpaceX and all kind of, I don't know how much money he was worth, but a very exciting young man. But like I don't walk away with this. I want to walk away with like, I see Jeremy sitting in his car, and I'm like, okay, dude, there's something here. I don't even know this cat, dude, but there's something between he and I that would draw him in this room to want to watch and listen. Uh, some guy doing something. I'm just trying to do something that I know at least I don't have. I don't have a place where I can go and just communicate like this and um, free will, and maybe out of that free willing, some kind of logic comes out of it. Now, I've been trying to fill some gaps here for you guys so you could write down what freedom is for you. And we'll start going through some of these comments. But what I'm going to try to accomplish today is anyone that thinks that money is the key to freedom, I can assure you that is an absolute non truth. It is not real. Uh, I have, in the last couple of years, probably 6 or 7x my net worth. It has not done shit for me in relative terms of freedom, of of clarity. It has not accomplished anything in terms of bringing more high quality people in my life. In fact, one of the reasons I decided on this particular topic this morning, which I was like last night and early this morning, I woke up at 4. I was like, man, I'm gonna run out of topics, dude. How do these church people do this? Like, I'm not an expert on any of these bloody topics. And that's the value. I mean, I'm like, wow, these guys really had to do a lot of work to get prepared, and most of them weren't very good speakers, boring as shit. But nonetheless, I was listening to a gentleman that I've met a few times that I really respect. I don't know him well, but I really respect what he's done. His name is Michael Saylor, and he was on an interview that I was watching, and he talked about what he had gotten from this journey into Bitcoin. And I found it really, really fascinating because I really kind of keyed in, for lack of a better word, keyed in on something he said about community. And he made a comment that he really, 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 really enjoyed the community in Bitcoin. And this is a guy my age, a multi-billionaire, getting attention from every player on planet Earth. And he's not talking about the community on Wall Street, dude. He's talking about the community in this little Bitcoin thing, this new universe of people that want freedom and they want to not have to get on this treadmill that whatever religion you may or may not believe in. I mean, you cannot possibly believe the religion of the infinite escalator that just, Jeremy's probably 45 years old. Freaking escalator, dude, just every year just gets, you know, more of a gradient, more of a gradient. And this is this ultimate growth. Companies grow forever and ever. You got to grow size. You got to grow margin. You got to do it every 90 days. And if you don't, dude, you're a freaking loser. That is a catastrophe. Okay. Much less to attempt to be great every 90 days. Dude, talk about a short-term vision. That is not the way to build anything that's going to be sustainable. And that's my way of see when I just talk out loud like that, I said, oh shit, then I can't possibly get freedom doing it that way. Okay, well, how do I get? Okay, let's go, Gary. I'm 22, dude. Let's start running. I can run faster than everybody else. I can run longer. I am willing to suffer more pain than the guy that did the MBA. This has been my life story, dude. MBA yourself to death, dude. You cannot outwork my ass. I'm angry. I'm mean. I'm scared. I'm terrified. And I don't have all the shit you have, so I'm just going to outwork your ass. But is that free? Or am I on this now? If when you're young, dude, you got to do that right then and there. You got to go conquer something and get your little, piece of land. And the piece of land really is here. The position is here. It's not really a piece of land. It's not really a job. It's not really a position in the market or, oh, I want to get married and have little babies. That all goes away at some point, dude. Like if your goal is to get married and you're 16 and have babies, well, that's good. That's going to last now 15 years. At 15, they are no longer babies. And if you continue to treat them like babies, they will turn into snowflake little PUSSs. Okay. I mean, like, this is a problem. You cannot possibly have the goal. I want to be a mommy and be satisfied forever. Now, maybe you are. Okay. I've never been a mom. I'm a freaking awesome father. And I'll tell you, like, in a year and a half, my job's done. My job is done. I've given 15, 16 years to these kids. I can't possibly go, okay, I just want to be a dad for the rest of my life. Dude, these kids don't need a dad anymore. A daddy. They need a strong man they can look up to. And I set the example for what they're supposed to be attracted to, hopefully. I mean, good luck, you boys. Y'all better man up if you show up with my girls because they're not used to seeing a little punk. Okay, they're actually used to seeing somebody in a restaurant, and if they mess with me, I go, "Hey, dude, we'll leave." I open my door, the door of my car for my girls. You better open a damn door. You better come meet me before you invite them out on a date. Because I'll submarine you every day for the rest of your life, dude. You see, I mean, you think about it. Jeremy's laughing, but I mean, you think about it. There are so few skills. How can you be free if you don't have any skills? Huh? How can you possibly be? How can you be free of your own self-criticism if you're not like always improving just a little bit? I heard a man once say it was in Houston, Texas. I could drive to this building today. I don't remember the address, but it was such a important message this cat rolled on into my brain. I'm sitting in a room and he said, "Discipline is the key to freedom." I mean, he said it just like that, big old text. Discipline is the key to freedom. And I was like, fuck, dude, what a paradox. Discipline, meaning hey, a regiment, dude, like, let's go, right? Is the key to freedom. When he said that, dude, it hit me in my chest so hard. I didn't like it. I wanted to disagree with it. I still want to disagree with it. I want to add discipline is the key to freedom, comma, parentheses, except Gary Cardone on certain Sundays and Fridays when he decides he's going to go out and chase girls and drink 3 martinis. Right? Like I have this caveat, right? This little footnote. Well, Gary's special, Gary's unique. Um, Most certainly, when I have been hyper disciplined, I have had the most freedom. Um, or I've been on a pathway to achieve freedom in a way that I had not understood before. I personally don't think everybody can be completely disciplined all the time. You become kind of crazy, okay? I mean, I know people that are hyper disciplined like that, but like you wouldn't want to live with them. I mean, they're crazy, okay? They're like I like being able to get out of control every now and then because it means I'm not a robot. Um, Out of control is probably the wrong word, but you get my point, okay? I'm most certainly not an angel. I am a sinner, just as every one of you flawed human beings are. And last thing I'm going to do is start criticizing someone unless my criticism can actually help. And see, there's another area, okay? Freedom. I meet a guy like Jeremy. Let's say Jeremy and I are we're competitors, or we're in an industry together, and every 3 months, every 4 years, whatever, we bounce into each other at a trade show, a convention, and I've had this actually happen to me in my life. Guys come up to me and go, "Hey, man, that 1 o'clock in the morning, we're all at a party or something, or 10 o'clock at night, and one or two of these guys will pop it. Hey, Gary, give me some tips, man. Give me some tips so I can like short circuit the process I'm in." And I talked to these guys for a little bit. Listen, if somebody asks me my opinion, uh, half the people will never ask me twice because I actually will tell them the truth. And I remember this guy in Holland. This was 5 or 6 years ago. It was it was in no, it was in Amsterdam, and he asked me my opinion. It was, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning on a bridge. And I said, "Yo, the problem with you, bro, is you're scared to become the general. You're hiding in this company that, you're going to spend 2 or 3 years there and realize you should be leaving now. You should, go to the next level." And I said it fairly abruptly to him, right? I'm not a sugarcoater. Um, 2.5 years later, he calls me up on the phone. He said, "Hey, man, I just took a job as president of marketing of this company. I really want to thank you." And I thought he didn't like me. And he's like, "Dude, that pissed me off. That really," I walked away and was like, "Oh, you know why I pissed him off? Because it was true." 2 years later, he takes the job. He calls me. He says, "Thanks, man. I needed that push." Right. So for me, the freedom isn't, "Oh, wow, I'm free. I'm never suffering. Everyone likes me." That guy didn't like me for a while, dude. I guarantee you he smashed me behind my back. If somebody said something negative about me, and I do make a lot of noise when I go into a marketplace, as maybe you guys have figured out. It's just in my nature to do it. Otherwise, I'm just going to be really quiet. And so I'm pretty sure that people have bitched about me before, and he probably allowed somebody to say something negative about me without defending me. 2 years later, he might not have that same strategy. But my point is that freedom doesn't come without any cost. See, if I wouldn't have told him the truth, I would have gone home feeling guilty, dude. Okay, you know why? Because if I would have had the ego, the pride, the security to actually ask an older man, "Hey, can you help me?" I wanted him to tell me the truth. I don't want him to sugarcoat it. The amount of older people, and by older, I mean people that are more experienced than me, the amount of people that I have asked for advice, input, criticism. Please criticize my business. Please criticize me so I can become better. The amount of people that will not do it is staggering to me, man. More won't do it than will. Those that will do it, normally I didn't even ask them. Don't care, don't want it, and they're just sticking their nose in my business. Those people, I didn't ask you, dude. I don't care what you think. Most certainly, if you're a less successful person and I'm asking about a lawsuit or success, I didn't ask you. Don't want to know. And I don't go to people for that advice if they're not freaking experts and they haven't had issues. Like, I've never met anybody that was perfect. Everybody that tells me they never have any problems, they never lost any money, I'm like, bro, I'm out of here. I'm gone, dude. I don't want to meet a girl that's never had a bad boyfriend. Like, I don't want to do that. Okay. Like, bring me some experience, and so that I can have a point of relativity. There's no points of relativity anymore, man. Like Bob and Mary and Sally and all these people are exactly alike. That's bullshit. It's absolutely not true, right? So it's funny that I'm looking at some of these notes here. I asked you guys, what is freedom for you? Not what it isn't. See, it's I'm seeing a lot of, hey, it isn't this, it isn't that. What is freedom? And what is freedom? This is like, when was the last time any of you guys asked yourself, what does freedom mean to me? We talk about it, but what is it really? You know, is it, am I free? Am I free from my own little demons? Am I free from my insecurities? Am I free from being lost? You know how many times in my life I have been lost, completely lost, with 9 digits in the damn bank. And this is the reason I talk about money, because I'm like, hey, it does not solve many things. Okay. And like, I would rather have it than not have it, but it is not the panacea of everything. It's just not. In fact, the more you have, if you are not insane, the more you realize you don't have anything really. Dude, this is transient. It's not going to stay with me. It is really, in many ways. In fact, had I had less ambition in life, I wouldn't have probably even been in Miami. I would have hung out with my 2 dogs and painted for 3 days, which I enjoy doing more than going to 800-man parties, sitting in a hotel for 5 hours doing nothing. Let's go through some of these comments and hear what other people, and I really, really admire and appreciate everyone being here. 2,100 people here. I've never been to church with 2,100 people, man. And it's stunning to me. I don't know, haven't spent a penny on advertising. 2,200 people sitting in a virtual church on a Sunday morning says something to me that the world is really, one, we have a platform. Thank God, man. It's really very cool. But you know, people from all over the world, man. Like seriously, 2 weeks ago, I had lunch with someone, and it was a grown man. Some of you will have heard this story. If you remember 3 or 4 sessions ago, we talked about the box, you know, putting messages in the box. Grown man shows up to lunch for a coffee after a lunch, and he's got this thing in his hand. I said, hey, man, and he shows it to me. I have no idea what it is, something black. And I said, oh, well, what is it? He said, it's the box, man. Grown man went and made his own bloody box, and he's been sticking freaking IM messages in the bloody thing, and he wanted to come to lunch, and he brought it with him. Like he was a 9-year-old kid showing somebody. And you know what? Like I say, 9-year-old kid, like, good on you, dude. Because you know what? My ego would have been too big to bring that. Hey, man, look at, I went and did the box. I probably wouldn't have done that. I'm too cool, man. Can't tell the cat I'm doing the box thing. See, cool. Me being cool, like, that's not freedom. That's not freedom, man. Come on. That's ridiculous. You see what I'm talking about now? Like to be free, right? Really, to be free and just to be able to not have any judgment in your brain. And hey, I'm going to go paint. I don't really care if it looks great or not and where it's at. And I think you guys get what I'm talking about. Let's go through some of these. So we got Randall Dance saying good morning. Awesome. Joey Bitcoins, freedom equals unencumbered ability to express or do or be. I love that. Unencumbered ability to express or do or be. I like it. Thanks, Joey. Network Effect says the same spiritual battle happening inside of me is happening inside of every man and woman on earth, billionaire or plebe. I totally agree, dude. Totally agree. And the more we talk about this, the more most everyone will become first uncomfortable. That's the part nobody wants to do. I have to go through some discomfort. Can I be free in discomfort? Can I? But I have to go through some discomfort. And I think I have to understand myself enough to really even have a conversation about this conversation. But when I start thinking about if you define freedom like Joey did, unencumbered ability to express or do or be, that's a lot of freedom, and it's also a lot of responsibility. It's kind of funny how freedom and responsibility in some way are connected, because if I was irresponsible, I got to tell you, I would not be free. If I would not have shown up to Miami and bailed, and I could have had million reasons to bail, I would not have been free. I would have let somebody down. That's not okay for me. Now, maybe I won't take that on next time. Maybe I don't say yes. I say yes a lot to people. Yeah, I'll do it, man. No problem. Don't want to let anybody down. When in reality, I don't really want to do it. In fact, I should push the CEO of the company to do it. Why am I doing it? Hector says, freedom for me is the ability to spend my time as I choose. Financial freedom. Thank you, Hector. Freedom, Sarah Parker. Thanks for being here, Sarah. I don't know where all the women are, but invite all the women, okay? Because I like to have a nice balance. Freedom is creating. Absolutely. I don't know that I'm free because I'm truly never felt that way. So I'm in a phase of my life at 42 of discovering what real freedom means to me first. Yeah, I think that's really right, man. It's he's 42 years old. He's admitting like he doesn't know things, right? Real freedom means to me the first time in his life, he's starting to think about what this really, have I ever even felt it? See, I felt it when I was young. When I was a young kid, like I was free. I had no mental masturbation going on hardly ever until the masturbation started. But I'm Catholic. That should explain everything. But well, I grew up Catholic. Let me say that I'm not Catholic, but I did grow up Catholic. And the amount of shame that church blows on people. I mean, I think I was getting enemas full of shame. Good old Italians. But that a 42-year-old man can come up here and go, wow, man, have I really ever felt that? See, I don't think anybody's ever felt it, and we don't talk about it. That's why I'm really excited about all this Alien. I almost did this whole show this morning on the aliens and what it means, but I've always wanted the aliens to come get me. It's the only thing I would be I would rather have the aliens take me than me die on my kids. Uh, but I would be okay, and I think the kids would know. Yeah, Dad wanted to go, man. I mean, they're not babies anymore, but I would. I see. This is my way of saying, hey, there's just too much that I don't know. That a 42-year-old guy named Matt Crane can sit here and go, dude, have I even thought about having freedom? Do I really know what freedom is? There has to be something more out there, man. Right? Has to be. I just don't know what it is. And that's what this will be the most difficult thing I've done all week. And it will be the most um, rewarding. I don't know. I mean, somebody was asking me, hey, why are you doing these things? And I honestly said, dude, I don't know why I'm doing it, but it feels right. And I get a lot out of it. I start to look at people and go, oh, wow, that's the way he defines freedom, right? That's cool. This guy right here thinks Bitcoin's freedom. That's cool. I have a lot of Bitcoin. I am most certainly more free than most people in the material universe. I can buy an airplane. I can do whatever I want to do, but that does not make me free. It just makes me have the ability to buy expensive tickets. Um, all you got to do is look at all these people in Hollywood. Okay. There's 1,000 celebrities in Hollywood. I was never invited to these parties. I'm not important. All these politicians that went to all these Diddy things and all these celebrity things. And dude, these aren't free people. You think these are free people? Okay. I lived in LA for 4 years and was shocked. Okay. Like shocked, dude. I was single. I dated, I don't know, probably 16 women there. Um, and every one of them, intense fear. Intense fear. The entire state is a state full of emotion of fear and insecurity. New York's angry all the time, which angry is better, I think. Like being in fear. Um, all these people that have had pictures taken of them and all their beauty and their Botox and their big contracts and their fancy nights out. All these people are terrified of a scumball party, not once, not twice, but multiple times. You think these people are free to? You go look back at the lives of all these fancy actors in the 70s and 80s, and they're dead now. And like you end up, you listen to their story. And I don't think these people were ever free, dude. Never. Okay. Like, in fact, name me someone that was free in your lifetime that you're like, whoa, that's the life I want to lead. That's awesome. You can barely come up with any names. List them down. Okay. There's 2,600 people in this room. I bet I couldn't get 2,600 names. Okay, the amount of people that I've known to be free, I don't even know if I can give you one name. It's amazing, really. Okay, when was the last time you were in a church and they're talking about freedom, and the guy's like, "Hey, man, we're not sure that we've ever measured anyone with any freedom whatsoever on this planet." I mean, oh my God, life isn't about little Gary, LOL. It's all about me, man. Look, ICE, you know, not sure what that means, but I have no way to speak for you. See, because I've never lived your life. But most certainly, I have a lot. I would love to be sitting in a bathtub right now drinking a cup of coffee And that would be really just about me. Okay. Anytime if you're being judgmental here, I'm just going to take the opportunity to spank you down if indeed you are being critical. Uh, you just feel free to light up your Sunday channel. In fact, in about 30 minutes, there's going to be a big O opening here. There's 3,000 people. I'm sure they would love to go to your room, and you can talk about that life isn't all about you, or talk about that life isn't all about me. I'm just trying to help a few people here. So appreciate you being here. Hope you stick around. Hope you learned something. And maybe I misread the communication, but it kind of irritated me. Mike Mack. See, I'm not free. I should have just let it fly. Instead, I got all hooked into it. Mike Mack, love you, bro. Love having you here. Very interesting. I was talking about Michael Saylor, and I got off my comment. The thing he said that really touched me, I'm going to find the clip, was he made a comment about how much he loved the community here. And I heard him saying to me, at least, that he had never had community in his prior businesses. That's really what he was saying. And I really indicate with him on that, because in business, which I've just done my whole life, it has been extremely shallow for me. You know, I spent 15 years in an industry. I might get 2 or 3 people to call me over 10 years from that industry, man. Thousands of people met. These businesses, if you think you're joining a club and you're going to be in that club forever and ever, go ask anyone that's been in the club, okay? They don't hang out with everybody in that industry. They don't. And if they do, they're usually pretty boring people. Okay, so like, no one told me that, man. No one told me that where I was going to spend 40 to 100 hours a week, that I wasn't really building any relationships. We were building relationships for what? Because we were trying to get some money so that we could pretend to be free. Trying to get some money so we could pretend to be free. Or at least I could appear to be more free than what I think your freedom is, right? And when I heard him say that, I just felt very, very grateful. I felt very, very grateful for, and I'm just going to say this, okay? This is a big deal of mine around Bitcoin. This is not intended to be a financial thing, but I wouldn't be here. You literally would not know me had it not been for Bitcoin. Bitcoin and its decentralized philosophy made me think about, oh, wow, man, church. Dude, why can't we do? I have the technology. It's cost me $20 a month. A little lonely on Sunday mornings. I mean, every other week I have my children, okay, but they're 17, man. Still lonely at 10:30 in the morning. They're sleeping. They're doing whatever they're doing, right? So for me, freedom without really high quality people in my life that's not the kind of freedom I want, right? I do not have enough really cool people in my life, and I never have. I want to laugh, okay? I want to hang out with people, laugh, and be around people in good times and bad, and be a part of a team or a community, right? For me, that's part of the component of freedom, and that kind of commitment also comes with times when I'm not going to be free. Hey, I got to go to a party. I got to go to a christening or a wedding or whatever, right? Brandon says he knows freedom. It's a journey. I don't have many options and live in a small coal town, but I'm beholden no one. That's awesome. That is awesome. And I would just like to say to you, sir, that you have a lot more options than you think you do. Okay. You don't want to keep telling yourself that. You have a ton of options, my friend. Whether you choose to do them or not, that's a different deal. But you most certainly have options. I've never been without options. Maybe scary and painful. Real relationships, Wes says. I agree, Wes. It's the most valuable. Here's one. Pongo. Freedom is letting go. Awesome. Let's see. Here's Yowzer. Yowzer, thanks for being here. You've been a huge supporter. They tell stories from their lives. Um, David says, like Sunday mornings, great time for me on the West Coast. Cool, man. Welcome to the West Coast. Tyler says, hey, Gary, I'm leaving church and saw your church lobby. Hey, Gary, I'm just leaving church and saw your church lobby. I was hoping I can get your help. I know your brother's considering moving back to California for governor takes and a story that can rally the troops. Yeah, cool, man. Well, reach out to Grant, and I think Sherry's his assistant. Maybe she can set you up. Christopher says, freedom is something I have thought a lot about. I served 7.5 years in prison, and what I understand about freedom has come from a loss of choice. Freedom has levels, and these levels are all about choices we make. So freedom is a state of mind regardless of circumstance. Yeah, totally, dude, totally. Freedom is a lack of victim mentality. Oh, big one, big one. Cannot be a victim, and you're sitting there saying you're free. I can't be pointing my finger at you, and I'm not free. Okay, and I'm not free if I'm pointing my finger. Okay, I'm not free if I'm being critical of you. Okay, if I'm walking around always thinking about Elizabeth Warren, who I think is an absolute criminal, dude, she's living in my brain free of charge. I don't think about her. I don't think about Nancy Pelosi. She's going to die a miserable old cunt. Okay. I'm sorry for the abusive language. She is a hairy, hairy, bad lady. Okay. Come on. Okay. We got to call it for what it is. That's freedom. Criminal. Calling it out, dude. I don't want her leading anything. Okay. School system. Criminal. Freaking criminal. Okay. Talk about freedom. I have a legal obligation to get my kids to school. I learned from COVID that they have no legal obligation to show up. They have no legal obligation to keep the doors open, and the teachers can do whatever they want to. 17-year-old daughter, 3 of her 8 teachers, 2 days after the Trump win, the election, had to take mental health days. 3 of the 8, $28,000 a year. Criminal human beings. If your mental condition is so fucked up that you have to take a day off from school, dude, from kids, you should go back to school. You should go into a freaking psych ward. Get off those drugs that they gave you. Something isn't working, okay? If your chemical imbalance is so freaking sensitive over an election that you can't show up and teach some 16-year. You know what you just taught the 16-year-old kid? That if it's not convenient to show up, then you don't have to. That's what you taught them, okay? You taught them that you're a lazy, irresponsible human being. And if that, but they're claiming, hey, it's free, man. Mental health, man. Mental health. Let me stick a gun in your face, an AK-47 from some Russian guy, and we're going to invade your city tomorrow. We'll blame the Russians forever and ever and ever and ever over this. And let's see how much mental health shit you got to do, okay? And tell your little 16-year-old behind you that, you know, she's getting ready to have her head blown up because you are gutless, you know? See, the point I'm trying to make is the freedom. For me, I can't watch this stuff go on and not call it out. I'm not a news reporter, okay? But if we're going to be talking about something, I'm like, why did I start these? I'm raising my hand saying church has not worked for me. I have tried and tried and tried and tried 4 different events, 4 different churches. And sorry, I don't believe one church that was created on earth is better than any other church. And those people who happen to be lucky enough to win the lottery, whether you be a Muslim, a Jew, a Catholic, or a Baptist, or an atheist, dude, I'm so sorry, but there's just no chance that the God that you write about is so small that they would pick one little group and the rest of us are fucked. Come on, man, that's ridiculous. Okay? If that is where we're living, I'm done. Cool, check me out. It's ridiculous, okay? I don't care. I don't believe it. I don't support it. It's a lie, okay? I'm not any better than the guy sitting in his car drinking coffee watching this, dude. Not a bit. In fact, if he wasn't here, I wouldn't be here. So it takes like everybody to do this deal, man. It even takes the person that, oh, it's all about Gary. It ain't all about me, dude. Okay? Don't confuse me with somebody else. Don't confuse me with yourself or other people. I didn't even want to come here this morning. I mean, you want to talk about freedom? I had to jam myself here, dude. I mean, jam. Like, but see, this is the beauty. This is the trick. If once I say I'm going to do something, I don't just write it down. I actually tell people, hey, I'm going to do this. If 3,000 people show up, I'll do this every Sunday. I said that. I said it again. I'm saying it again. If 3,000 people keep showing up, I will open up Sundays. I will make my time available. Now, that's putting me in a cage, right? I had to get on a plane at 11:30 last night, dude, fly down here so I could be ready for this. I could have shown up at 9:30. I wouldn't have been ready for this. Getting off of an airplane. Oh, I know myself. I need some time for this deal. It would have been messy. I would have not liked it. So I ordered a plane, got in late last night, slept well. So the point I'm trying to make, the reason I'm so vocal is it traps me. It traps me because I hate letting people down. Like for me, I'd rather not be free and not let you down. It's just one of my deals. Letting somebody down is like, oh, dude, I hate people letting me down. I expect most people will let me down. Sadly. But if you can find somebody that's totally responsible and they're like, man told me once, I said, hey, man, if I'm late or something, ping me. He's like, dude, you'd be the last guy I think would flake. Like I love that rep. I don't flake. Okay. I may not like it, but I don't flake. What is the point I'm trying to make? The point is, I don't think freedom comes without its expenses. It doesn't come without its handcuffs, paradoxically, right? Freedom is not free, folks. Freedom is not free. It has the word free in it, but it is not free of expense. It is not free in the least bit. In fact, it is extremely expensive. It requires me to be willing to be isolated, alone, and made fun of. To be criticized, to take the other side of it, to say things that other people are not willing to say. And this is how we got ourselves in this box in the last 60 or 70 years. Freedom has been being removed on a monthly basis from us, replaced with subscriptions, really cheap subscriptions that allow us to tap into dopamine and entertainment and pornography and whatever we're watching on TV. Funny enough, these crazy freaks, they launch COVID. Now every human being on the planet that's got children has watched every movie ever made 18 times. We are overdosed on I cannot even watch another movie. Like I have literally saturated myself with every video possible. I mean, my kids and I can't even find a movie we haven't watched 2 or 3 times. So funny. These guys always overplay their hand. A COVID thing just destroyed so much of their paradigms. So now we're all running around going, "Oh wow, can't TV's not going to fix it. X isn't going to fix it. Get on these spaces, dude. You can end up talk about walk away not free. I'd walk away from some of these spaces. I want to throw up. Man. I mean, I don't want to throw up, but I'm jacked up. I mean, people, I get scared. Uh, it's improving. I am seeing it improve where these rooms, well, we're getting a lot more spaces. Uh, and for you guys that are like, what's he talking about spaces? Hey, these are just communities, man. Okay, it's no different than when I went down to Lake Street in Lake Charles, Louisiana at 10:30 a.m. and there's 300 people all parking their cars in their Sunday best, man. Hello, hey, how you doing? And we're all there for the same reason, and well, it's kind of good, man. All for the same reason, some kind of goodness, taking our time off, thinking about what's important. Here's a guy, Free Texas News says Bitcoin opened portals in his mind. Many people won't understand what you're saying there, sir, but I really do understand. It's very, very interesting. I don't know that I'll ever be able to do a Sunday thing on that kind of issue, but most certainly that subject has allowed me to look at things very, very differently than I've ever looked at it. Gerald says, "Hey, Gerald, good day, Gary. Hope your day is good so far, dude. I'm doing what I said I was going to do. I'm a lot more excited about doing it than when I was thinking about doing it, which, by the way, has been true for me about 99.2% of the time. I'm a little bit of a bitch getting there, but when I get there, I do show up. But man, I can be a little baby getting there. I mean, I can whine and grind like nobody you've ever seen. See, this is the part you guys don't see from successful people. You guys just see, oh, wow, look at this guy, dude. He's a roller, getting on a plane, a helicopter. You don't see any of this. All you see is, oh, he's got different clothes on all the time. And you don't see any of this shit going on here, okay? Yesterday, I read an email that Steve Jobs sent to himself a year before he died. He was most certainly, I think he was doing very heavy macro dosing of psychedelics. I would bet $1,000 on it. I'd bet $100,000 on it because he was most certainly going through a spiritual metamorphosis at his end, because if you haven't read his last writings, I mean, they are powerful, man. I think it's the greatest gift he left us. It was not the phone. It was not iPod, none of that. It was his last letters. And one of the things he was saying in his email to himself was, I live in a world where I didn't create anything. I listen to music that moves me that I didn't create. I mean, he just goes through all the things. I have $1 billion business that is built on technology I built. I did nothing. I didn't build any of it. He was going through this whole really whoa, dude. I would be meaningless without everything that's been built before me. Really, really fascinating. See, I think successful people, I would hate to be known after I leave this planet as oh, wow, he's a good business guy. How insulting would that be, man? How horrible would that be? Oh, wow, he's a billionaire, dude. Well, cool. Or he wrote a bunch of books and he was famous, or really? How about this? How about I tell you about a man that 59 years ago, who wasn't my father, who wasn't my teacher, who had a full-time job. I think he was a fireman. And he took the time out for a 7-year-old boy to teach me how to use my right arm instead of my left arm in sports. I grew up left-handed, had a surgery, was never going to throw a baseball with my left hand again. And that man took the time to teach me how to throw a football, baseball, shoot a weapon with my right hand. And I use my right hand. Now, his name was Tony Minaldi. He's been dead for 30 years. I remember Nancy Gardner. She was a teacher at school. One teacher and one coach, only two people I remember. One of them said, Gary is going to be one of the most successful people in school because he doesn't put up with anybody's shit. He doesn't fall in line with everybody. And the other one was this Tony guy that took the time out to teach me how to do that. The reason I'm sharing that with you is I'm pretty sure I stole a good chunk of time from him and his family. But I still remember that man, okay? He taught me that I could do something that, like, you want to do something very difficult, try not to use your right hand today. For 80% of you people, you can only use your left hand. Go paint with your left hand, okay? Go throw a baseball with your left hand. And if you're a guy, go do whatever you do with your left hand. See how that works, okay? It's going to be really different. Which now I'm doing it as an exercise because I'm actually looking at everything from a very different angle, which is what a bit of this has done for me. I'm actually looking at things. The more I do this, the less critical I am of other people. The more I talk about how weird what I'm doing here is, the less critical I am, the more empathetic I am of other people. That's freeing. That's freeing. I'm still going to tell you what I think freedom is. I have the best definition in the world for freedom. I'm just trying to roll through some of these and figure out if there's any better ones. Mike Mack here. Here's a good one. Ooh, look at this one, dude. Mike Mack says, just as sin. So he's talking about freedom is the key to freedom is a discipline is the key to freedom. And then Mike pops in here. Mike, we ought to do some stuff together, dude. Now that you've shaved, you're looking good, buddy. Just as sin is the key to confinement, man. Wow. Sin is the key to confinement. Sin, I like to define as missing the mark. Off. I'm going to the moon, but took a little deviation. That's for me. It's an error. I can handle error. I got to tell you, okay? I can handle error better than I can handle the word sin. Just me. Especially when you start putting the mortal sin crap on it, okay? When you start dropping the nukes on me, and they're the infinite nuke. Hey, by the way, you masturbated when you were 12, and therefore you were going to spend your entire existence for the future of humanity with the devil. I mean, come on. Okay, so hell, the dolphins are going to go to hell. Just for me, I'm off point. It's an error. It's not a mortal sin, okay? Gerald says, Gary, give me some game, LOL. I think I understand what that means. Let's see, Red says, that's why I always say health is wealth. Freedom for me is basically when you're able to just live the lifestyle, and the health goes along with it as we love life and life loves me. Interesting. I wonder if you can be healthy and not free. I think so. I don't spend a lot of time on the whole health thing. I mean, I'm sure one day I'm going to be like, I wish I'd have spent more time on the health thing, but we are living in physical bodies. So I'm not talking about the freedom in my body, right? There's not a lot I can do about that. I mean, I have damaged uh, large parts of my body. It's just not going to be the most convenient thing for me. The freedom I'm talking about lives inside of here, right? That's the pain, man. That's the crunchity crunch crunch. That stuff's been here. Doesn't matter how old I am. Been here since I was young. Doesn't matter how many accidents I've had or surgeries. It simply is, or how physical my body can move or not move. It's this, man. This in here is the poison, or the fertilizer, right? The other side of fear is freedom. Yes, I agree with that, and I'll tell you something that that's who is it? Yowzer, of course. So for me, fear is sometimes the leading indicator, even though it's doing this. Stop in the name of fear, right? Stop in the name of, but stop. And really, what I need to do is go, thank you very much, but I actually need to go here. Like one, if the fear keeps bugging me, it's where I need to go. See, I'm really scared to do these Sunday things. It's like, oh, I don't want to. It's a lot of work. It's scary. It's scary. I'm going to mess up. That feeling is a lie. I have learned now over. I think the first time I figured it out was when I was about 26. Every time this fear shows up, it's a particular kind of fear. It's wrapped a little bit in the worry of how I will be perceived in a way that I think that's why I reacted negatively. That lady that said, "Oh, it's all about you." Like I don't want people to think that it's all about me. I would not show up for that. I just not. It's not. I know people that it's all about them too. They don't even know it. And that maybe I don't know it, but I don't think it is because I do know people like that, and I do not like it. Kyle says Gary's genuine. That's why we rock with you, brother. I love that, man. Thank you, dude. The cost of freedom is fear. We lost the experience of our elders. Our elders quit telling us all the great stories. The elders in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, well, after the 70s, man, let's face it, the elders stopped showing up, period. They all became children. I think we've had 100 years of children almost since the 50s and 60s. Very, very, very little parenting. Very little man up. We've had a lot of babying. The amount of psychologists, psychiatrists, and weirdos that showed up in the school system to soften up people, horrendous. Okay, you want to take away freedom from a young man? Teach him how to be a little baby. Make him not go to a gym room and do sprints. Make him not. You guys remember when we had to go up that rope, 100 feet? 6 years old, you ain't coming down the rope. Make it to the top. That was awesome. Okay, I can't even remember if I ever made it, but I remember people hustling over it, and the fat guy couldn't make it. And like you start learning stuff that like these. Oh, somebody threw up on the basketball floor. Nobody cared, man. Okay, you get spanked for doing something bad. Like nobody was freaking out. It wasn't like going to the nurse, holding them like a little. It's ridiculous. I don't know what you guys should never have had children, dude. And they treat their animals the exact same way. Okay, exact same way. They're yappy. Food's everywhere. Their toys are everywhere. They're not disciplined. I had a dog sitting in. Abbott was with me one day in Home Depot, and I'm on aisle 17. I said, stay right there. And I walk away. I must walk 30 yards, 40, 50 yards away. That dog's just sitting there. Man comes up to me and says, dude, your dogs are better behaved than my children. And you know what I said to him? I probably spent more time with my dog than you spent with your kids, sir. And he was like, fuck. It's true, dude. I brought him everywhere with me, right? I mean, he was extremely happy in Home Depot waiting for me. Extremely. He would have been very unhappy running around yapping at everyone. Like those dogs are not happy, dude. They're screaming at you. Hey, they're fucking freaked out. It's just like the kids. Okay, so I put a lot of discipline on those dogs, and they are very, very happy in that environment. And so is everyone else. Funny that, huh? Guy walks up and says that. He's happy. He's also going, wow. Also, trick for you single guys. Not that I know this for a fact, but I've been told that women that see men with dogs believe that they are more capable in a way that they can take care of things. Now, what do you think a woman sees, or a businessman, when he walks into my house and there's 210 pounds of dogs, two of them, and those two dogs sit on the floor and they don't go, freak out all over them, attack them, touch them, eat the food. They see, oh, wow. And then they see the kids and they're disciplined and good mannered. You start looking around going, oh, okay. Everything's consistent, man. See, that's what I need in my life. I need some consistency. And the thing is, when I do things that I'm really, really comfortable with, I can be somewhat consistent. But as soon as I get out of my sweet spot, I get into the, ooh, am I doing it right? Questioning myself. I really do believe that it's worth having someone, even if you have to pay them. It is worth having someone that you can just bounce off of, talk, right? And I'm going to get a lot of help here. And notice, no one's having to respond. The communication's interesting, but no one's having to. When I'm done talking, I'm going to be done talking. See, I'm going to put it all out there without holding back. I'm not holding anything back here. You can tell I'm not holding anything back here because I use words that most people will not use in any setting, much less a Sunday setting. And by the way, I apologize for that. That was a bad on me. It is an extremely powerful word that just every now and then there's only that word fits her perfectly. Elizabeth Warren, if you don't remember, and Nancy Pelosi, if you don't remember. And the word started with a C, but I'm not going to go there. But you see what I'm saying? I'm just trying to put it all out there. And even that little thing, hey, look, I know that was a bit of a mistake, but I'm not really sure it was really a mistake because it was so accurate. And the other thing is, if you get all jacked up over a word like that, I had a man from Scotland just the other day. He said, dude, he used to work for me. He said, the stuff you're doing, the Scots love you, keep it up. But bro, you need to control your language. I said, yeah, well, see, that's the problem. You love it. And now you're asking me to be a different Gary. So fuck off. And that pretty much got his attention. And then he remembered, oh yeah, I used to work for you. You were that same guy. You can't, it's either gonna, how much dilution can you add to yourself before you're no longer yourself? How many times can you not say it before you're not even who you are, dude? And that, for me, that's the part that is like, how much dilution can you take before you completely change who you are? That's a very good question, okay? When you start thinking about freedom. I'm a freedom maxi, says Mr. Blister. Own anything without restrictions, do anything without restrictions, go anywhere in country, do not detain, harm no one, do not steal, zero taxes, zero privilege, zero fees. Love the ideology. Not sure we're going to get there in this lifetime, but I like your attitude. It's pretty close to mine. Freedom for me is when you are one with yourself, mind, body, and spirit. I love that, bro. Grow wealth. I want to ask you a question here. On a scale from 1 to 10, where do you think you are there? Because that's a spectrum, right? Are you at a 7, 8, 9, 10? Is anybody at a 10? I ain't never been close to 10. Okay. Well, I have actually been close to 10. I have been in 10, but it only lasts for hours. Freedom is the ability to say no or yes to any given situation. Darius, that is my definition. Freedom is the ability to say no to anyone, anytime, anywhere. And I would just do it differently. Period, exclamation mark. And then a new sentence. And freedom is the ability to say yes to anything. Like, hey, Gary, you want to go to Dubai on a private jet? Wouldn't it be nice to be able to say yes to that dude? Wouldn't it be nice to be able to say, hey, girls, y'all want to go skiing somewhere? Let's go. Now, I know not everybody can do that today. I can't launch a space rocket. I don't have the means to do that. But gosh, I do have the means. I do have the means to write down Gary's going to build a space rocket company. If that comes out of me, I should write it down. Because you know what happens? I wrote down, hey, I'm going to make a significant impact on this planet 2 years ago. And all of a sudden I'm involved with, I got Vivek's telephone number. I've got David Sachs is the Bitcoin czar. Cindy Loomis is a senator pushing policies. Dude, I'm smack dab involved in the U.S. government right now and had I didn't plan to say yes or no to that. Okay. I just opened up my world and said, I really want to help more people. And now this, so the point I'm trying to make is maybe I don't have an interest in building a space rocket company, but the point is you can do whatever you want, dude. You got to stick it on a piece of paper. And then you got to tell people, hey, Gary's going to start a church. And by the way, I'll be here every Sunday at 10:30. It is a hack. You see what I'm doing? I'm literally locking myself in so that I can be more free. I'm committing vocally to you guys. And now I won't be free if I don't show up next Sunday, dude. I'll feel guilty. I will feel guilty, okay? Can you imagine walking to church on a Sunday morning and the doors are closed? Dude, that's not cool, dude. Somebody starts telling you they're going to show up for you. These presidents, these prime ministers, don't tell me, hey, you guys, I'm the central figure and you guys take pot shots at me. Bro, you held yourself up to a different level. Okay, I expect you to be an absolute leader, flawless. Maybe not flawless, but you don't have the human, hey, I'm just a human out. Like you chose to be the head of France, you crazy son of a bitch. What the hell are you doing, man? These people are bad people, man. We should hold every one of these people responsible. And by the way, we almost had all our freedom removed from us 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. We got lucky, okay? America woke up and overwhelmingly voted for, hey, we don't want more traps. We don't want more taxes. We don't want more regulation. We don't want more enforcement. We most certainly do not want more war. And we're fucking tired of you guys. Every freaking 6 months to 18 months, there's another conflict going on somewhere. You can't even keep up with them so much. Hell, Hollywood can't make money selling reality TV anymore because all you got to do is go on X and watch it and just tune into any country, dude. Fucking Assad got, blown up last night. Maybe he didn't. Planes are going down all over the place. 3 years ago, people were gassing people. Then we find out they weren't gassing people. This is insane, man. And it's insane because you and I shut the F up. We didn't hold all our newscasters responsible. When they started going off the track, we should have said, hey, fire that guy, dude. Quit spending money with these people. Like, how many of you guys still have a Fox News Channel account? How many of you people are still watching BBC? How many of you people are paying a cable company to feed your children crap? How many of you let your children go on YouTube and Twitter and TikTok? Dude, if I was president of the United States, tomorrow morning, rule would be 16 or under, dude, you do not get to go on social media. Full stop. No social media before you're 16. You got to get a license to drive a car. And that's after 1 year of training. Can't be sticking these kids' faces at 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. Oh, by the way, pet peeve of mine here. If you're going to be a parent, fucking man up, dude. You want to talk about no freedom, okay? When you have a baby, like, your freedom went out the door, man. Your freedom should be all around, like, hey, helping this creature become something valuable on this planet. Freedom is not sending your children to a bunch of strangers every day in a building that's sucking up massive amounts of energy, that are teaching your children stuff that is literally 3 decades old. They don't even have a spot in their science class where they teach that the Big Bang that you and I learned about is complete horseshit. Not to mention, okay, the IQ of these kids, their abilities to study and know anything today is just horrible. And I'm not that guy that, hey, it was all right in my generation. Dude, these people do not know how to use a shovel. That'd be my school. You show up to school 8:30, dude, everybody's going to the gym. Everybody's going to the gym and they're going to be sweating. And they're going to learn how to use I was with a woman who has an 11-year-old boy 3 weeks ago in Miami. I've not met her son. May or may not meet his son. And I said something about this using a shovel. And she immediately, this is what's wrong with women today. She immediately goes on defense and my son does not need, my son is above a shovel. Doesn't need blisters on his fingers. And I'm like, well, really, is that true? I said, so let's just pretend like you're in on a Ukrainian highway, and you're with your son, and your car has a flat tire, and your dog died in the back or something, and your son, you're not always going to have a plumber to call in Miami at $300 an hour, lady. Why would you want to put your child in a position where they don't know how to use a shovel, man? Do you know how embarrassing that would be? Because your boy goes out with my girl. Guess what my girl's doing? She's driving her own car. She knows how to use a shovel. She knows how to use a hammer. And in 9 months, she'll know how to use a gun and be able to carry one in her car. And that's the boy you're raising? Dude, my girl is going to run over him like a freight train. Right now, freedom for me is looking around, looking at my girls. Dude, they can handle themselves. I have done my job. If they get killed, get on drugs, do crazy shit, dude, I've done everything I could do. Now, I don't think they will do that because I did everything I could do. They're going to have to really go off the reservation. Uh, they're going to feel guilty every time they do something, just like I felt massively guilty. Why? Because I had parents that instilled basic good stuff in me. I admire my parents. That is the reason I'm here today. It's the only reason I'm here today. My parents instilled enough in me and gave me a good enough education, gave me maybe a gift to be able to communicate, and an awareness to go, hey, where's the communion at? There are 4,000 people sitting here communing together. Okay, I wish we could all like talk and communicate. It's just not, the tech's not there yet. And so we're doing it the best way we can, right? But I'm doing something here that, one, is making me a better person. And I would so hope that it's making other people a better person. And the only reason I'm using the I so much, because I get sick of talking about myself, I think it's boring, is me talking about my own experiences puts no shame or criticism on anyone else. Is exactly the same way I talk about finance. I am merely sharing my way of handling things. And people can decide whether or not that's good for them or not good for them. But to have somebody just come out of the closet, I think all of you people are in the closet. Okay? Everyone's in the closet if you're not 100% yourself, if you're deluding yourself in any way. If that buddy asks you, hey, what's your advice? Or your girlfriend asks you, hey, what's the advice? And you kind of, hey, you think I'm fat? You like the dress? I mean, dude, if I ask you if you like my dress and you don't tell me you don't like it, I don't know why you just didn't say, no, dude, bro, you have better clothes than that. Like, why would I do that, man? That fucking dress looks horrible on you, dude. That other dress makes you look so hot. It's unbelievable. I don't have to be a ding dong about it. I mean, a lady the other night, I walked into an event, and I walk in, whatever clothes I want to put on, and I've just gotten to that point in my life. I mean, I wasn't dressed poorly, but I most certainly was not dressed awesome. I said, hey, the dress code tomorrow night, what's it? She said, nothing that you're wearing right now. She's like, literally, not one thing you're wearing right now can you wear tomorrow night. Stand up, man up. And as soon as I saw her that night, she was my guide. I said, am I okay? She said, oh, perfect. So, I liked her telling me that. You can't wear that tomorrow night, dude. By the way, Gary, you're the sponsor. Oh, I am? Shit, I forgot about that. So I've kind of gotten off track here because you know why? Because I'm becoming more free. It's so obvious to me that what I'm doing right here is going to help me become a better human being. I will become more free talking about my lack of freedom. And the tools that I have are discipline, commitment, setting goals. This bad dog did. I got to tell you, okay, you guys are going to get sick and tired of me, but you're going to remember me after I'm dead. The guy that wrote everything down. If you write down stuff, okay, stop using your phone and your computer. There's something magical about it. You're not using, I mean, I know I am using a pencil, but this is direct, man. I touch a piece of paper, it makes a sign, right? So it has always worked for me to write something down. If you don't want to write it down, draw it, okay? Just draw it. You start drawing your brain. It's just like it's impregnating images and sounds. People on these spaces, they go, dude, I can hear you drawing. Cool, dude. That's awesome. Any hack that doesn't cost, I don't need to go steal from crypto veins, man. I just need a hack, right? I need to talk to people. Hey, what's your hack? Okay, a few more of these comments. Man, you guys got so many comments. So here's one. Free to walk 10 miles equal able. Oh, I hate walking like that. 10 miles a day. People that do that, it's unbelievable. I'm such a lazy little boy. Freedom is providing for everyone and giving back to everyone and making everyone free with you. Yeah, I have to be careful of that. There are just some people that I can't force feed to do anything. I'm okay. I'm free enough to allow somebody to sit in their shit. There's a lot of value in being in pain. Okay, like for me, I learn more when I am void and empty and lost than I am when I'm on a roll. When my ego is all jacked up and I'm on a roll winning, man, I don't learn a lot about myself. But when I'm in pain, especially around grief or a loss, not so much terror and fear, but I don't really have terror, but around a deep loss, I get very, I'm a better person. I think more. I'm slower. I go deeper. Things move me in a way that don't move me when I'm on a roll. I mean, listen to what I'm saying. I learn more when I'm in pain. Okay. I am richer when I'm in pain. That's really, I'm learning more. That means I'm richer. See, I was going to do this thing on rich and wealth, and this is rich and wealth, okay? My ability to do this today with no agenda, the amount of people that have asked me and wanted me to go turn this into a money thing, I don't need money from you people for this. Why would I need money for this? This is like you give it. Let's say I made 100 grand today. What is that? 4,000 people paid each 5 grand. It's 100 grand. It's 200 grand. One, it wouldn't add zero value. Would it add any value? What production am I going to do? Put a rock and roll show back here? Going to pay some celebrities to come up here and heat it up? Hey, Donald, come on here and I'm not. My point is, and I'm not making a penny from this yet. I think it's great value. Most certainly for me, I will be more free today than I was 3 hours ago. Here's Yuki. Yuki shows up from time to time. I like Yuki. Freedom is being able to choose to die on your own terms. Wow. Do you know how few people ever accomplish that, guys? Do you know anyone who has died on their own terms? Most people in the United States die completely broke, cannot even afford their funeral. That's not dying on your own terms, man. I got to tell you, Yuki, this is an awesome one, okay? I'm not sure it's complete, but I love it. I really love it. And also, I wouldn't think that she's thinking dark in that way, right? Um, freedom from income tax, property tax. You know, I don't really agree with that one, ma'am, because I don't think it makes you free. I don't know how a country, a state, or a city is going to stay innovative without some type of revenue or taxation. I, for one, find it easier to make more money and pay my taxes. If no one has to do anything and there's no expense, is anybody going to work? Is anybody going to create anything? Now, I'm going to create something because the truth is, I'm not free without a purpose. And a purpose with no freedom is not much of a purpose that's going to achieve anything. So I need the freedom. I need purpose. I need purpose to fuel my desire to do something, which is the purpose here is to Do the right thing, man. You remember that NASA saying, "Look, he's got the right stuff." Dude, listen, we all have the right stuff. You have the right stuff. Yuki has it. Big Chief Energy. Sophie. Lucas has it. I have my own right stuff. There's so many things I could not possibly do well that you guys will do well. Maybe none of you do this. Maybe I'm the only. Who cares, man? My point is that everyone has value to bring to the table if you're not scared and if you're not deluded. Okay. And that's why this is so important. This thing, who am I? You start writing things down like I am free, I am. In fact, that is all you have to do. Quite frankly, this church should just be called I am. We just do I am every week. It solves everything. It's literally the macro perfect hack of it. I am is the deal. Like I can't get off how powerful that is, because what it does, it begins to open up channels inside of me. When I go I am and I have nothing to fill in, I've already started myself. Me, not this, not the hands, me, dude. The thing that you guys look, I have a twin brother, right? So you guys can do this test. Most certainly I am massively different than my twin brother. Massively. There will be people that love my twin brother that do not like me at all, and vice versa. So everyone has something unique to bring to the table. I want more of you to be less confined, more into who you really are. Okay. One thing my brother and I have done is we've always done a lot of writing. And it's maybe because we've just been confused, but it's such an easy trick. Okay. It's such an easy trick. I am. And then if you can't fill out that next spot very easily, and it should expand, right? Make it richer. You're already beginning to learn things about yourself. And do not, if I may offer you a suggestion, if it comes out of your hand, I am a whatever, write it, dude. Don't stop the fingers from writing. Don't let it, I am a billionaire, and you go, I can't write that down. Dude, if you thought about it, you write it down. Okay? Don't get into, that could never happen to me. I've been writing, I am a great teacher since I was 22 years old. Had no idea why I was writing. No idea why I would write down. I'm a good teacher. I'm a good communicator. I thought maybe the communication was about, I want to be a deal guy and I want to be successful and I need communication to be successful. Dude, I was doing this 20, 30 years ago to prepare myself for Sunday. You see what's happening? It comes out of me, and then I end up being one. I'm probably never going to say, I am a chemical engineer. That's just not going to ever flow out of my hand, okay? I'm never going to be a chemical engineer. But what comes out of my hand, I literally wrote in 1991, I am building an energy company in Europe. Dude, I'm sitting in Houston, Texas. 6 months later, a British company buys us. A year later, I was in England building an energy business and had a wife who was going, well, you ain't built one yet, while we're sitting in London. Okay, so for her, it was impossible for her, who had gotten on the journey with me, to understand that the power of me writing something down actually had the ability to come to fruition. She couldn't, I'm not making her wrong. I'm just trying to share a story with you that, hey, you got to be a little careful with people around you, because what comes out of your hand may not have any interest to some of the people around you. Okay, they have their own thing. That's why I use the chemical engineer thing. Okay. I'm never going to write down. It's never, if it wants to come out of your hand on a piece of paper, write it down. Okay. Write it down. Don't force it. Just let it come. You'll learn what I'm talking about. Okay. It's just like painting. The more you do it, the more you write. More, I am. I am. I like you guys a lot. I really appreciate you being here. I don't know that I have more to add to that. Um, for me, freedom is the ability to say yes to anything and no to anything, absolutely anything, without harming anyone. Okay, now it ain't, hey, I get to go blow my Glock 17 off in the backyard and don't care about my neighbors. Like, okay, I mean, let's be sensible. It can't harm other people. I most certainly am glad that I came here today. I'm really glad that I didn't bail out and, become a little wimp. I've learned a lot. The more I communicate, the more I learn about myself and I learn about you. And the more I see comments from you guys, I'm like, man, we have a chance at this, guys. Do y'all agree with that? We have a chance if we all just get real, man. If we just get real and we just get real, get honest, hold each other more responsible in this way. I think this is a good way of communicating about getting people to up their game. I have never had anyone come against me when I looked at them with good intention and good communication skills. Many people do not have this. But to be able to look at someone and go, dude, I think you're bigger than that. Stranger or friend. Hey, I hear you. I think you're bigger than that, dude. I got to tell you, I think you're shorting yourself just a little bit with that I am. I am a carpenter. Okay, but dude, that's awesome. What kind of carpenter? And then, dude, I think you could be, you remember Michelangelo? He was one of the greatest marble artists ever in the world, and he had no formal education. He worked with another artist. So I can hold people like Mike Mack responsible and go, Mike, James Dean, you are James Dean, dog. Okay, own it. Mike's more capable than what he is showing to the world. Most certainly, okay? Everyone is more capable. And for me to say that to Mike as a friend and go, Mike, dude, I think you got more in you, bro. That's a compliment, dude. Okay, you have a champion tell you, bro, you got more. That is the person you want to be around, even if it's only one time a year. Okay, he's being honest with you. If someone's holding you responsible, telling you that you're not disciplined enough, you're not doing enough, maybe you need to listen. If 3 people tell me I am arrogant, I must consider this. Okay, I cannot look around and go, well, gosh, man, everybody's fucked up. 3, 4, 5 people start telling me, hey, Gary, nobody, I don't trust you, Gary. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Oh, really? 3 people don't trust me that work with. I mean, at some point I have to, that happened to me when I was in my 20s. My bosses, it was stunning to me because I'm like, I'm straight as an arrow. And they were really saying, dude, like, we think you'd manage us sometimes, which is probably true. I did manage it. They needed to be managed. That was my justification. But it set up some low trust for me, from their perspective. I needed to fix that, dude. That's not good. That's not about them. That's about me. 3 or 4 people go, ooh, you really a team member? I'm the best team member in the world, but they were worried about me betraying them. I'm like, wow, that is bizarre. Funny enough, the very people that actually ended up betraying them were exactly opposite me. It was literally the guys I'm like, oh, dude, we should not be hiring these people. They were all the brilliant ones, the MBAs. They're still working at consulting firms. Let's see. Here's one about Sailor, and then we're going to close up. I think Sailor would agree with you on freedom. His fin theus solas in solving problems, found peace. Yeah, you guys tell if you know Sailor or you have his at Mike Sailor. That's his Twitter thing. Tweeted out telling that I was sharing a story about freedom and his real heartfelt response to being grateful for the whole community in crypto and Bitcoin in particular. And I just saw that it was something that was really, really true to him. That he really values that community, as do I. I value community so much. I've always been a better human being in a community. It's always been very difficult for me to find the right community for me to be in without them all going crazy. These communities, they get a couple of leaders in, man, it goes all wonky, wonky. Anyway, this is my long way of trying to string out this close. I want to say thank you. I want to ask each of you, whether it's Big Energy, Carlos, Michael, Sharon, Speaker Mentor, any of you guys, okay, do the I am every day if you can. Okay, there's no reason you can't do it. Even when you're doing your calendar, you're in a meeting or something, write down, hey, I am a good negotiator. Okay, I am a great leader. You walk out of a meeting and you've just said to yourself, I am a great leader a few times on a piece of paper. Gosh, you're probably not going to be as bad of a leader as you were when you walked in the room. It most certainly doesn't cost anything. I think this pencil cost me about 20 cents. The notepad, I'll send you one. Probably should get some gear like that. And what I'm going to do the rest of the day, because I'm going to kind of do my little hack here, because if I don't do this, I will be lazy. But by 1:30, I'm going to go in my paint room and I'm going to do 4 hours, no less than 4 hours today painting. If I say that, I will do it. If I don't say it, I may or may not do it. But I need to get 4 hours in because I just spent 4 days out of my home and I've done nothing. And so I got to play catch up. But that's a field that's been really good for me as a soul, as a being. It's been good for me to play around with something I don't know very much about. Thank you guys very much. If you found this valuable, at Gary Cardone's, the X Twitter space, YouTube, I think same thing. Repost the room. Share it with for me, what I'd really like you to do is share it with an aunt, an uncle, a brother, a sister, an ex-wife, an ex-husband, your current wife or husband. Just give them, hey, just watch this, man. Watch this crazy guy on a Sunday. What I'm trying to do is show other people show the people that aren't on X with you. Hey, there's a lot of really cool information coming out here, whether it's me or Bob or Mary or Sally or whoever it is. But these rooms should be 10 or 20 or 30,000 people in these rooms. Okay. We can change so much here. I don't need a government to make me better. I don't need Vivek paying me to do this, dude. There are 5,000 people in here. If we can help 5,000 people, we can help 50,000. All you guys need to do is say, hey, check this out, man. Doesn't cost anything, dude. Right? Doesn't cost anything. So really appreciate you guys. Last thing you have to do, because there is a cost to this, you have to, Kristen in the Bunker News, Darius, John Allen, Matt Crane, Aries, Michael, you guys have to help someone today. Okay? You can't take credit for it. Just help someone. One of those hacks could be, hey, Mom, let me show you this link. Share the link with her. Mom, please watch this. Or watch it with her, man. Watch it with her. Okay? And who knows what will happen. Maybe she'll say, you got crazy friends. And maybe she won't. But let's help people. And if you help people, you're going to feel better about yourself, and people are going to go, it gets contagious. Okay. We've had enough viral crap going on. Instead of like saying no to viral, let's go viral. Okay. Let's spread a great contagion around, hold people responsible for being better and greater than they actually are. And let's get our shit together so we're a great country and a great world again. I do believe that's possible. And if we don't take the steps to do it, we deserve to live in a gutter. Okay. I am. I am fixing the world. I'm fixing the world today. I can say that. You can say it. 5,000 people say, I am fixing the world today. We're going to have a better world tomorrow than we have today. Thank you very much. Be blessed, be grateful, and help others.